Hey guys, this is Nathaniel Clay from Just Press Play. I was off for a day, I'm sorry about that, but I am getting back to actually uploading more content. And for today, I am going to talk about something that seems like a constant trend on Kickstarter lately. And over the years, I would more say, because we always had, like each year, I would say we have at least one really bad Kickstarter mess up where it's just a complete clusterfuck and everyone ends up either losing a lot of money or end up getting delivered a game they never expected to get in the first place that is as of lower quality as of what they expected to get in the first place. So that if that makes sense to you, but you get my gist though. People just get shit that they did not expect to get in the first place. But at the same time, I do want to talk about this Kickstarter in general. I have not heard anything. Just a little disclaimer. I have not really followed this Kickstarter very closely, but I do remember back when it was announced in 2014. And it has a similar story to Mighty Number 9 in my opinion, because it actually has a famous Final Fantasy developer behind this game, and that's actually quite interesting because it kind of sounds like what happened with Mighty Number 9, which I've heard mixed reactions from people. Some people say they enjoy it, some people I've heard say they dislike that game. But anyway, on to Unsung Story. Back in 2014, the game, was being praised for just launching on Kickstarter. Once again, people who do give money on Kickstarter, you are definitely risking it if you put down even $1 on it, because there could be a high chance, just like this, that you just don't get your game as you wanted it to be, and the project can be a complete fuck up, just like this ended up being. So this go on to what PC Gamer has up in their article, is saying that about the RPG. I'm not really much of an RPG fan. Is that oh, Unsung Story, you poor mess of a Kickstarter project. They pledged money back in they pledged about like 660,000. Imagine if that reached 1 million. That would be even more disappointing. But I know it got a little bit weird because I remember how they had like a couple of delays and stuff like that where the game was supposed to come out during release date, and then they went kind of silent for a while, and people got even more pissed off, wondering what was going on. I did go to the Kickstarter page, and I was not able to find any comments about anything. Most likely it's because it was like probably like a closed thing, but I know people have most definitely been talking about it, and they say the product's in good hands, but the developers is actually taking over it is Little Orbit. And once again, if you look up who Little Orbit is, they're not a very credible game game company. They've made like the Adventure Time video game, Kung Fu Panda, Barbie, the Penguins game, I believe, which was shit. I actually played the Wii U version at a kiosk. It was not great. So, and I think it was on a little demo thing. They always have a little demo thing. Every store is different. I think it was on the Target. That was such a long time ago, but the game was just shit. It was not that great whatsoever. And those games have not gotten any critical praise. People use those games to basically support games they can laugh at more so on YouTube. Those are the type of games that would be reviewed. People review Barbie for that sakes. Like, look how shitty this game is. Ha ha ha. That's kind of sad that this game is getting put in the hands of those creators. Now I am curious to see how the game, now I'm going to be following this Kickstarter a lot more, just to see how the game ends up. I want to see what they actually do. Will they follow behind a lot of the artwork that the original developers used? Because there's even more bad news. They're starting it from scratch. The only reason why I'm saying that is because they're literally starting this from scratch. So this whole thing, that all the stuff that was on the Unsung Story Kickstarter page, which I'm going to actually show you right now, because if I go to the Tale of the Guardians right now and show you the actual, how the gameplay was supposed to technically work, I have a feeling that it's not going to look like that when they actually publish the final product. I have a feeling I don't even think it's like the class systems and everything. You might as well just say that it's a drop in the well now. You don't know if you're really going to get that kind of quality at all. And all I want to say is that this is just a lesson for everybody who donates to Kickstarter campaigns. You have to make sure that it's not a campaign where you give too much money or do something meaningless like a $2 electric toothbrush Kickstarter, or um, one of those PI boards, Raspberry Pi boards. I know there's a lot of Kickstarters and different kind of models for one of those. Do something like that, some hobbyist kind of stuff. Don't do stuff like this where it's like full-blown games, because most of the time the developers cannot really deliver what they're talking about. I know there's a lot of successful Kickstarter games, but more the bigger ones, they have these huge budgets like Mighty Number 9 and games that just get delayed and go through hell like this one. I know there's a lot of other Kickstarter failures as well that are outside of the gaming sphere, but it happens very often. I believe there's like some kind of like electric razor thing that allows you like shave. It was garbage. Most of the projects on Kickstarter have. There's actually more. I've never really heard most of the positive ones I've heard. They've came out, they just never ended up like they were, or they come out and they just are mediocre like my number 9 was. It's usually that thing with Kickstarter. It does show that they need to probably put some new rules in place for people who, don't deliver on time on game releases. Like Kickstarter built in not an algorithm but an actual system where it's like you put your game release here, you put your and have timestamps, and if they technically do not meet those timestamps, have it where there's like a IOU where they have to give back a certain amount of money that they didn't complete, because technically they got away with it. They technically just got away with it. They're outsourcing the game to another developer that probably is not going to have the game on the same quality as the old one. Won't have this artwork. I'm saying that once again because it's very disappointing. And okay, there is comments. Um, Yeah, someone's already saying, I wish you best luck into getting them into the lawsuit. Yeah, I actually think that with the amount of money they got with this Kickstarter, someone could sue. Cause there's probably someone in here that I know that probably donated like a good like $17,000 or some ridiculous amount of money that's gonna probably want to know what the hell happened. So that's actually very depressing that they're actually gonna have to deal with that. But if they do enough to them, if they have the money to do it, then they might as well go ahead. And I wouldn't blame them. Fun fact: we had 240 plus backers from Seattle alone. So they're fine. So I don't know if I really gonna believe. Yeah, okay. I don't really Reese Holland. I agree with you as well. I think that would have been a better thing just to cancel it, because now it's gonna be even a bigger middle finger for people who to just get a lower quality game. That's probably. I have a feeling this game's probably not even gonna be a multi-console game. They're gonna probably put it on like one unit. Like, okay, let's just throw this on Steam because that's been happening lately, and then publish it as like a mobile title for like portable device, or Android or iOS cell phone app. I actually see them actually treating this game like shit. They might put it on like you know the stores. It's not gonna get a physical copy. It's not gonna get a limited running game copy or anything like that. Nothing special like that. Um, Temptation. You know what? I agree with them. I wouldn't give them assets and music though. I'm just reading Reese Holland's comment right now. I wouldn't even give them assets and music. I would make something like maybe a nice fucking statue and a handbag, or just like a poster or something like that, just to show something, because and that might not even work, but this at least it shows you care. Or you know what I would do? That would actually be a very good idea. That would actually just get everyone on your side. You discount them on Steam. You give them like at least a good $60 towards a Steam game. I would do that. That would if I fucked up this bad with all the delays and the issues and them having to outsource and them not really actually keeping up with their community at all. Yeah, yeah. So Yasumi moved on to another project. I mean, he has nothing to lose. Developers probably have a lot more to lose. He probably doesn't have much to lose, but the developers definitely do. So he doesn't really care. He probably is gonna. I have to agree with them though. The developers did not stay silent. They did apologize technically. Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. I'm glad I lost only $20 on this. Wait, that puts you in super backer? Okay, well, I guess they kept the super backer limit low, but holy shit, yeah. Even $20 would make me kind of pissed off, though. I would be like, hey, you better give me a fucking, like, bag or something, or a controller. Like, you can buy a fucking Steam controller for like $30 or $40 now. Give me a fucking cheap ass. It's not even the best controller. It's actually a pretty wonky and kind of weird controller, but fucking give me that at least. Yeah, yeah, he's right too. I cannot pronounce your fucking name. Fakulad Escalade. What is that? It's like a Skyrim name, a really complicated Skyrim name, or mythical name. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but his comment is interesting. I'm reading him to you. I'm sorry if the camera's blocking the way, but what he said is that they just weren't up to the task. I agree. I actually here's my theory. Here's what I think happened with this Kickstarter campaign. Number one, they got everyone's money. Number two, a couple months everything was going all right. Then number three, on this long ass steps. Number three, um, they started to fall behind because they started seeing other projects that could be done around the time that were probably going to be probably more profitable in their eyes, which means that they started slowly. So they started seeing whatever his name is, the developer that this is inspired by. He probably started moving over to other projects. The developers started getting really scared. He probably at some point kind of paused his development progress in the game. They probably had to start grinding to get the game out. Then they missed their first delay. Then he was already probably moved on to whatever next project he was doing. Then they felt kind of screwed over. However, they still had the money, so they were kind of figuring out a way, how can we tell them what happened. And then during the next delay time before this, whatever happened before this, in that short time frame, they look for the other developer, and they look for the Barbie developer, the cheapest developer they could afford, and that's how this got to this situation. Because with that $660,000, they could have probably got a tad bit of a bigger third-party developer. I wouldn't even mind if they went to talk to Sega, because Sega could have probably done something with that. But I have a feeling that a lot of that money is no longer available anymore, and that's the damn sad truth for people who probably spent $1,000 on this. Is that there was probably a lot of mismanagement of funds towards the end of this epic demise, which is actually something that I think actually happened. There's a story about a guy that made a board game that bought a house, by the way, with Kickstarter money. I wouldn't be surprised. Or like the Ant Simulator. There's a lot of stuff like that. And I think someone is eventually they're gonna have to reveal their financials, like what happened, because someone is gonna sue eventually, and they're gonna wonder like, hey, can I see your financials? I want to see what happened. I want to see what you guys actually did. Like that's what I think happened. So I'm gonna wrap this up, but I do want to. Okay, I'm still reading, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I really don't blame. Yeah, yeah, he says the same thing. Offer like a board game or something in general. But see, they, I honestly think they didn't do well with the money either. I really think they didn't do well with the money either. And then with the scraps of change they had left over after they kind of blew a lot of their budget, that's when they asked a very uncreditable studio to develop the game. That's what I think happened. And I have a feeling they probably only had like 3,000 grand left, and they were like, "Fuck it, you might as well just give it to them." Or realistically, probably like 10K left, and they were just like, "We need to find a developer and just get these fuck." And what I think they're gonna probably do is they're gonna go to Kickstarter under a new company name, and they're gonna do this shit all over again. And that's just my honest opinion. Kind of sad. Still waiting for that January update. Oh, that's very sad. There's people writing books in the comments. Like this is depressing. Yeah, I agree with now that comment I just passed down there. I'm not gonna really scroll back down to it. He's right. Don't defend this. Don't. Seriously, they deserve everything they're getting from this because it was too much money. If it was like honestly, if it was like $5,000 and it didn't come, I'll be like okay. But no, no, this developer, it's too much money. So I don't think it's gonna be like Final Fantasy Tactics. Matter of fact, when did that come out? No, not happening. Oh, the mobile version isn't that great, by the way. Just letting you know. I've actually tried the mobile version. It's not that great. It costs like $6, but it's not that great. Some people are very optimistic. This guy says like thumbs up for taking this project head on, despite dire. Okay, at first I guess that's some optimism, but oh man, yeah, wrong time. This is a comment you should be saying January of 2000 and whenever they were supposed to do the last update. Yeah, sorry, Michael. Mm-mm. Lower your expectations. A lot of people aren't lowering their expectations. Yeah, a lot of people are saying dump the assets, which means that programmers will probably end up taking on creating this game, and I don't think they're going to do that because I think they're going to find a way to reuse it or find some kind of way to make money off of it, however the hell they can, and that is sad. Once again, it's so sad because companies can easily get away with this on Kickstarter. I'm incredibly excited now. No, they're not starting from the ground up. Another studio is. I don't read what he said. Oh yeah. Oh, good point. I don't know source material. If this thing has a, I know that the actual creator of that, the inspiration from Final Fantasy, the creator of that or whatever like that. I really don't much know his backstory, but I'm just saying this from the Kickstarter standpoint. I know that he was going to add a lot of source material to the game as well, though. So there's a lot of storyboard and stuff that was probably done with the project that won't ever really be, an unsung story. Yeah, he's right. It's a this is technically an unsung story. It's a dead story, a dead sung story. Now Kotaku made a timeline, a very interesting timeline. I'm just gonna check it out. September 18th, 2013. Yasumi, okay, And just saying quiet the project for a while. Okay, great. Interview opportunity. Okay, don't get February. Damn, this goes all the way back to 2014, guys. This is gonna take a minute. The PR response. Sorry it took us long. I just found out last night we won't be able to do this interview. Yeah, see, it seems like they started slowly going under the radar. Oh man, they wrote an article on it, promoting it. Unsung story, his crowd. Okay, well, got passes, skipped over his goal. My backer update. So they're trying to clarify, like, hey, don't freak out. Everything's good. Everything's all right. In July, okay, August. No new updates. So after they said the weekly updates, they didn't keep their promise. This is when you should get worried. This is where I would have been like, this is what I would have been like. Hey, yeah, this project's fucked. September 5th, 2014. Basic stuff, some details, some story, unsung. Nothing. Oh, okay, see, I knew it. These screenshots look horrible, and that's what I think happened. They just couldn't take on the task. They bullshitted around with the money, and I think they just weren't able to really get what they it was too much for them. Instead of just kind of backing out and maybe hiring more hands, they probably mismanagement of the funds, didn't work with the game correctly, or probably didn't know what the hell they were doing. They probably had a good story on the way, but this is bad. This doesn't look like even Final Fantasy Tactics from a long ass fucking time ago, a PlayStation game, looks better than this. So and remember that this game technically came out in '97 or '98 here, but that's extraordinarily bad. So it doesn't look that great. I would never. This looks like number one. I have a feeling that see, that's the thing. Though, I have a feeling they got the money and just went on Unity and started working on this. A free trial version of. It looks like I have a feeling they did not get farther than this. There's no updates. There's no yeah. There's no statement in 2 months. Oh man. See, this is why Kickstarter can make or break you. There's no updates. No. Oh no. 3 months. Yeah, right here. Move more slowly. Pressing nicely, which means they probably found a way to salvage whatever time left they had, whatever money left they have, to push the developer. I have a feeling they weren't able to pay that man either. Like I think they just didn't have the money. I'm just making predictions. Bad. Never. This does not pertain to you because you're not a major gamer franchise. This is a major project, but this is you can't compare this to regular game delays though, because they do promise an actual product, even if it gets delayed to hell. It's an actual working product. So this statement right here needs to just get tossed out a fucking window because that's a horrible statement to use when you have a delayed project like this that's not on a massive scale as much as other major games. So no, I don't. I would not buy this shit. Nope. Nice try. Was like it's clear, other people with developments is nope. Goodman, sorry. AMA on Reddit. Yeah, proof. Yeah, I would ask for proof. In the UI development. Okay, yeah. So that's what I expected. All right. So yeah, he already left. I predicted that already. He left early in the project, and then they just were like, "What do we do now?" I had a feeling that was gonna happen. He had shit to do. Play that. Go. Oh no. You cannot do this. Look at this shit. Like, then no updates. So we're gonna add some video, and then they said they're gonna pause development. Oh yeah, this is right here. Okay, no, right here is when February 2016 is where I would have been like kind of pissed off. Like this is fake. That seems reasonable. Oh man, they're gonna continue making Unsung. So what are they doing? The brand and just that's bullshit. Man, this sucks. Latex again upon us like goddamn. No, okay. Ending paragraph. Lastly, we want to respond to those of you that reached out as for refunds, Scott says. I can't know the sheer amount of frustration you have endured. We are here to help, but we aren't in a position to do that right now. You need to replace this with another product. Or there's going to be some rich asshole in the comment that probably gave you like 10 grand. He's going to be like, we're going to court. And that's where you're going to get kicked in the ass a lot. Then you probably have to work on community service or get out the fucking no, well not community service. I'm stupid as fuck. You're gonna probably have to get it taken out of your life paycheck for what is it called, restitutions, I believe. Isn't that right? Yeah, I'm not that literate. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna continue taking it out of your bank account for the rest of your lives. That's all I'm gonna say. You're not starting from scratch. Another developer is. So yeah, this even the last paragraph is shady. Yeah, see, that's what I want to know. This last sentence, it remains unclear what Playdeck and Joel Goodman did with the $660,000. I think they didn't budget correctly. Wasted a lot on, Yasumi right there. Wasted a lot of money on him. Then he parted ways. Then they barely had any money left, and that's when they got the shitty developer. That's the entire. So it's all trying to fall apart. It wasn't too ambitious. It was just shady. This is all shady. It's somewhat, I guess. Yeah, but what did they do with the money? Is what I'm wondering though. Because the developer, I have a feeling that guy probably cost like 200,000. Someone's gonna sue them for the financials, and if his store is bullshit, we're gonna have the Kickstarter where the guy bought a house. The Canadian Kickstarter where the guy actually bought his own house, and the guy um it was a 3D printer. I don't know, if like Peachy printer or something like that. And that I think that was a very depressing Kickstarter because it was going to be a small, compact, cheap. Yeah, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what happens when they leak those financials because they're going to be probably shade like, oh, food, bills. Adam, you have a point, Adam. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but you have a point. You have a point. It probably ran out. That I should have thought about that. And it was 4 years development. It could have actually ran out, or I don't know if it was that easy. If they're budgeting it, they could have lasted longer than 4 years. But I have a feeling they still spend it on some bullshit. Anyway, that's it. End of this, guys. Just Kickstarter lesson for you guys. you it's a win-lose situation sometimes, you know, investing in these Kickstarter campaigns. I'll talk to you guys later.